Hey guys, it's Kevin again, and this is going to be my review for the season finale of Teen Wolf, Season 4, Episode 12, Smoke and Mirrors. And holy shit, guys, this was such a good finale. Really, this is what makes an awesome, kick-ass finale. It really was awesome. And one of the things I really want to point out about this episode was the fact that this episode, first of all, felt like Game of Thrones. It really did. It was that intense. It was extremely crazy, and most of the episode was just like a full-on battle. Most of the episode was a full-on battle, and that was definitely very, very well done, in my opinion, and I definitely really enjoyed that about this episode. I mean, that was just something that I loved, and I love that the episode, was longer than others. I thought it was good that it was, an hour and 15 minutes. I thought that was good because, the thing with that is that this episode had to be. It had to be long. You couldn't just resolve it all in an hour. So I thought it was good that they decided to do an hour and 15 minutes. I thought that was definitely a good idea. And just, wow, what a great finale. And I can't wait for next season. Even though this finale was crazy, they still had some great cliffhangers as usual. So let's just get to this episode. So we see Kira. Now, Kira, we didn't really know where she was. We find out where she is in the very beginning of this episode, which I'm glad they told us because, sorry, there was like paper on my bed. That was something we need to know. Kira is trapped in a dungeon amongst a pile of bones, and she walks over to the prison door and pushes it open. She's calling for Scott, but he doesn't answer, obviously, because he's a berserker. She doesn't know that, though, obviously. She's going to investigate, continues to call out his name, doesn't know where he is at this point, and she comes face to face with a berserker. And she sees Scott's tattoo. And right away, Kira realizes, holy shit, Kate turned Scott into a berserker. And I just thought that was a great scene, because all it took was for Kira to see Scott's tattoo. That's how she realized that he was a berserker. And that was definitely very well done, in my opinion, the way that was handled. So Kate comes in, and I gotta say, Jill Wagner, this was by far Jill Wagner's best performance. She was legitimately creepy in this episode. Like, legitimately creepy, in my opinion. She really she did a great job, definitely, just being a great villain, and I think Kate Argent, Peter Hale's a great villain, but Kate Argent's probably the second best villain on this show. She was fantastic in this episode. She walks, so basically, she tells her that the Berserkers were waiting for her, and she says she quickly discovered that they not only responded to her, they also listened to her commands, and then she discovered that she could create new ones as well. To them, she's known as Laluba, or the Bone Woman, and that was a great way to start it, and I just thought that was definitely very well done. So yeah, right away, very intense shit, really great stuff. For the next 20 minutes, the episode is everyone deciding if they're going to go to Mexico. That's what the episode is. It's everyone teaming up and preparing to go to Mexico. That's what the next 20 minutes of this episode is. And I thought that was well done. It took a little while to get going, but it was good that it was an hour and 15 minutes because, you couldn't say that this episode was just, oh, action, no dialogue, nothing that big with story. Because there was a lot with the story. Right here, there was a lot going on. Basically, Stiles is arguing with his father. Sheriff Stilinski does not want his son to go to Mexico, and Stiles wants to go and to save Scott and Kira. He wants to take a more methodical approach, but Stiles gets antsy. Now, here's the thing with, Sheriff Stilinski not wanting Stiles to go to Mexico. He needs to lay low, definitely. I think he needs to realize that Stiles is, he knows what he's doing. He wants to help Scott, and I understand that he's concerned about his safety. I understand that. But the thing is, I understand why he's concerned about his safety. But the thing with this is that he needs to lay low a little bit. He needs to make Stiles, Stiles, I think he can pretty much trust Stiles, and I think he's just kind of concerned about him. So that scene was very well done. I really enjoyed it, and, you can tell that Stiles is going to go anyway. You can just tell. So Derek and Braedan, they have prepared their weapons to go to obviously, they're going to Mexico. You can just tell they're going to Mexico. Because, what happened to them in the last episode, obviously they're going to Mexico. Derek is still mourning the loss of his powers. They're completely gone. He has no powers at this point. And he feels as if he won't be returning from this mission alive, because if he dies, he can't, he dies. If he gets shot, he gets shot, because he now has no power, so if he gets shot, and he'll die. So, definitely that was very, big when he said that, and I really felt bad for Derek in this episode. Definitely, I really did feel bad for him, and I really felt the way the writers were going that Derek was gonna die. I really felt someone was gonna die in this finale. I was glad that no one died. Definitely. By the way, this whole episode takes place the exact same night, which I thought was well done, definitely. I really enjoyed that. So basically, they don't know if Liam should go because it's the full moon, and Liam is not really, he's never really transformed yet. He's not used to being able to control his wolf powers. He hasn't been told how yet. So they're very concerned about that, and I thought that was definitely very interesting. I definitely thought that was good. So everyone's preparing to leave, and the gang meets in a garage, and I really like this scene. Peter shows up too, and Peter says that everyone needs to get a move on immediately because there's no telling what Kate's cooking up, perhaps with all her power. She's planning on harnessing the full moon's power to steal Scott's true alpha power, but nobody can be sure. Now, Styles says that nobody can leave, however, until Lydia arrives, they need her. So, they need to know where Lydia is, because obviously Lydia's as big as a part of this as any of them is. Lydia's the one that, figured out all this shit. She figured out who the, benefactor was. She figured out what was going on with the Deadpool. She knows a lot of stuff, so they obviously need Lydia. Lydia is actually in the school hallway. She opens up her locker, pulls out a sweater, smells it, and says, I hope this works. She's then attacked by a berserker. She dodges the punch just in time. And Styles is then trying to contact Lydia. And we find out that Lydia was getting a piece of clothing to help her track their scents. Because I was wondering, what does that mean with the sweater? Basically, she's trying to track the berserker's scents. That's what she's trying to do there. So Pierre and Malia, they're heading down to Mexico, and of course Malia is very skeptical about going down to Mexico because she has a very difficult choice to make. Of course, Malia's choice is, should she or should she not, kill Kate, because Peter told her to. And again, I personally thought that Malia was on a suicide mission, because we know Peter's real plan is that he's working with Kate, so obviously his real plan is to kill his daughter. I think that really was what he was planning on doing here. And this scene was just very big to watch, because it's just like, I was really hoping Malia wouldn't, I didn't know what Malia was really going to do here, and that scene was just really, really big, definitely. Really love the anticipation in this scene. Really, one of the great things, just like last week's episode, the thing this episode does very well is the anticipation. You know there's going to be a lot of shit going down. It's really awesome to watch. So Liam calls Mason. We have not seen Mason for the rest of this episode, for a lot of the episode. And he asks him if he has seen Lydia around. And Mason says that her car is still there and that he'll look around for her. So they then handcuff Liam in the back of the prison car because they know that the full moon is coming. And they know, for two reasons. They know the full moon is coming. And B, Liam is not, he cannot control his wolf powers yet. He doesn't know how. He's only, an Omega. So he doesn't know how to control his powers yet. So Derek hands him his family secret, talisman, that supposedly helps Beta's gang control. And everyone knows, however, that it's not going to work, obviously. It's just a gimmick. It's not going to work. There's got to be something more to this. You can just tell it's not going to work. So Malia and Peter, they drive down to Mexico, and they talk about what to expect, and Peter tells her that things are going to get messy, definitely. And you can just tell. You can just tell there's going to be a lot of shit going down. So Liam then begins to shift beneath the power of the full moon, and he says, whatever you're going to teach me, you better start now, because Liam is just, he's in the middle of transforming, and, yeah, so then we see that Kira's been stabbed, and she's bleeding profusely, and she sees a vision of her mother. She visits her, and she says that she needs to heal, but Kira doesn't know how. and her mother says that she's always told her that foxes and wolves don't get along, but that they're very similar creatures. Now, honestly, in this part of the episode, I thought Kira was going to get it. I really did. I really felt they were going to kill off Kira here. Think about it. You know, Allison died in the last finale. Maybe Kira would die. I know she's not a huge character. You know, she's a brand new character. They've only had her on for a season and a half. But even though she's only been on for a season and a half, she definitely is as important as a character as Scott, Styles, or Lydia, or Derek, or any of them. And I really felt she was going to get in this episode, and she didn't. She didn't, luckily. I thought she was going to, but she didn't. So then Mason and Lydia, they have been trapped in the school by the Berserker, and their cell phones have been taken. So they have no contact with their cell phones. So yeah, a lot of shit's going down there. And Derek then attempts to help Liam gain control, and he teaches him, you know, to say Alpha, Beta, Omega. It doesn't seem to be working, though. So, luckily, though, what ends up happening is that, you know, Styles get, you know, basically, that's obviously not working, you know, Alpha, Beta, Omega, it's not working. So Derek tells Braedan to continue driving, and she yells, "We're almost there." And, you know, because they're very worried that Liam's gonna, like, attack them. I thought Liam was gonna, you know, go full-on wolf in this episode, and we start to see it, definitely. Very good acting, definitely, from, Dylan Sprayberry, I think his name is. He did very good acting in this episode, definitely. So then in Malia's car, Peter tells her that if she's to succeed in fighting the Berserker, she'll have to summon the beast inside of her, not attempt to remain human. That's what she has to do, you know. If she wants to do this, that's what she has to do. Now, here's the thing about Peter. I think he genuinely does care for Malia, but I do think if it came to him killing Scott and putting her at risk, you know, her safety at risk, you know, making sure she's safe, he'd kill Scott. He doesn't really care as much about Malia as he should. I do think he does care about her, though, because that was genuine advice. I thought that was, good advice, honestly. So, Liam is still having a hard time transforming, and Styles gives him Satomi's mantra, the sun, the moon, the truth, and that seems to help. That gets him to finally, you know, that gets him to go back to his human self and control his wolf power. So, Styles taught him how. He didn't have to do without Scott, and I thought that was really cool, because most times, you know, this season, anything that Liam's been struggling with, Scott's been right around the corner, but in this episode, Scott's not there. He is, you know, not there, really. So, I thought that was very well done, because it's like, for the first time, Styles helped him when Scott wasn't there, and I thought that was just really cool. Really shows that Styles can help him just as much as Scott can. Thought that was definitely a very good scene. So they then pull up to the location, and Berserker grabs Derek out of the van and stabs him multiple times. He's badly injured, and at this point, I really thought Derek was going to die. He tells the others to go after Scott, and when he said Lydia was right, I was like, oh shit, he's going to get it, because, of course, he was on the Deadpool. He was on the Deadpool, and he's not dead yet, so he was, if you remember, he was one of the passwords to log into the Deadpool, and he's not dead yet, so I really felt he was going to get it. Braedan just has this look on her face, and I mean, Braedan just, oh my god, seriously, that was just big. You could really see that Braedan genuinely cares for him, and that was just huge right there. Definitely very big stuff. So, then we see, after this happens, you know, basically, the gang runs through the temple, and in the temple, Styles manages to get cell services, and his dad is calling, and he's furious, obviously, because he didn't tell Styles he could go to Mexico. But he says that he needs to do everything he can to save his friends, and Styles tells Sheriff Zelinsky to go help Lydia Mason at the school because he thinks they're trapped there. And they need help, obviously, so he needs him to go help them out because they're trapped there. So I thought that was overall a good scene, definitely, and one of the things, really, that I think Sheriff Zelinsky is realizing is that Styles, really, he can trust him. He doesn't need to keep, you know, telling him what not to do. You know, he needs to do what's best for his son. Definitely, I thought that was a good scene. Plus, because Styles is almost a senior, so he knows what he's doing. He's going to be going out into college soon, and I definitely thought that was a good scene. So, Braedan then tells Derek she's not going to let him die. She's just comforting him. She sees him dying. It's not something that she wants to see. No one wants to see that. No one wants to see anyone die. I don't think, at least. I don't think anyone would want to see anyone die. I personally want it. I personally would want to see someone die. But that was definitely a very big scene, in my opinion. Definitely very well done. So Kate approaches with a Berserker, and Braedan readies her shotgun. And, yeah, so that was the moment where I'm like, okay, this is going to get awesome. And in the school, Mason and Lydia try to escape, but the berserkers blocking the exit out of the basement. And Liam and Malia run into a berserker. So they're attacking and everything. It's really crazy. From here, it is full-on action mode. Full-on action, full-on kill, full-on fight scenes. Just really, really awesome. I gotta say, the effects in this episode, some of the best effects I've seen all season. By far the best effects I've seen all season. The effects, the action, the way it was done was just amazing in this scene. Definitely. This whole part of the episode, I love the episodes, you know, even more before this, but this made me love it even more, because from here it's just like full-on combat. Not like Gladiator or anything, but it was very much like, sort of like Game of Thrones. You know, if you remember the episode The Watchers on the Wall that aired, you know, this season, episode 9, Watchers on the Wall, very much like this episode. If you remember, The Watchers on the Wall had about 15 to 20 minutes of no, you know, fighting or anything, just dialogue driven. And then all the violence came out. That was very much like this right here, and I thought that was awesome. Braedan then encounters a run on her own, and the berserker picks her up by the neck, and suddenly a caravan of werewolf hunters show up. You know, Chris and Deputy Parrish are with them, and they are alongside the Mexican werewolf hunters, and we see Araya there. And that was huge, because they are there to open fire on Kate and the berserker. And that was just huge when that happened. I thought that was definitely very big. So Styles locates Kira, and she tells him that Kate has turned Scott into a berserker. I was glad that she told him right away, because she knows what's going on. And Styles realizes that that's why they stopped Lydia from coming along, because she probably would have been able to sense that Scott was trapped by the berserker energy and effectively thwart their plan. Which was smart, definitely. It was smart what they did, because they had a plan, they stuck to it, and they knew what they were doing. They knew what they were doing, they knew their plan. They knew that Lydia, you know, is not dumb, obviously. They knew that she has a brain. They know what she's doing. So, you know, she knows what she's doing. So, they basically tried to stop her. So, Kira says they need to be careful, or they could possibly kill him. You know, they need to be careful about this. So, Braedan runs over to Derek. He closes his eyes, and he seems to drift away. Perhaps into his death. You know, it seemed like he might die in this scene. I was like, no, Derek, don't die. Please, don't die. And it looks like he's gonna die. You know, she just has this look on her face, and she's like, Derek, it was just really, really sad, definitely. I really thought she was gonna die, that he was gonna die here. So Lydia then finds a baseball bat, and Mason charges at the berserker. They both attack the berserker. Sheriff Stilinski shows up, throws a grenade at the berserker, and he blows him up. So Lydia then tells Sheriff Stilinski that something is all wrong, because this has all been a distraction. They wanted her to stay in Beacon Hills because you knew they were trying to kill someone. You know, that's the truth. That's what's going on. And Lydia realizes that they're trying to kill Scott, obviously. So the gang then finds Berserker Scott, and I thought this was a very well done scene. You know, at first they don't realize it, but then Liam realizes that it's Scott, and I was really glad about what Liam said. And I think really Brett's advice is what really made Liam realize this. Liam, you know, is telling Scott that he is not a monster. He is a true alpha, someone who will always be loyal to them. Because, you know, Scott, again, he's had these visions of him being sort of like a monstrous werewolf and possibly going dark. You know, he's had those visions, and he really needs to put a stop to it. And Liam was really the only way for him to put a stop to it. So I like this scene definitely. He definitely was very well done. And, Liam basically says, look, you're a true alpha, and I trust you, and we're always, you know, going to trust you, and you are a hero. So, Scott then sheds his Berserker garb. Really awesome scene when he was taking off the Berserker, you know, thing he had on. And he then realizes that Peter was up to all of this, and he was the one who taught Kate how to create the Berserkers. And that is huge when we found that out. You know, he knew all along about this plan. Again, he was working with Kate the entire time. He knew about the plan, and that's how they created the Berserkers, was, you know, that they created the Berserkers from Peter. That was all Peter's plan. So I thought that was really awesome when that happened. And they literally have a huge face-off in their werewolf form. I mean, just really awesome shit going down. And then Kate's fighting the head of the Calvaries, and a black wolf jumps out of nowhere. And I'm like, who's the black wolf? And it turns out it's Derek. Yes, Derek is not dead, and I was really happy they didn't go through with his death, because I didn't want them to kill Derek this season. I really didn't. I felt Derek needs to live for, at least a couple more seasons. You want to kill him next season, go ahead, but this season, I didn't think he should die. His, eyes are blue, and he transforms into a human, and it's Derek, and she looks at him in horror. She's like, I thought you were dead. And Derek says, no, evolving, something you can't do. So basically, Derek now has his powers back, which is awesome. He now has his powers back, and I thought that was truly awesome. My only complaint is they really did not explain how he got the powers back. They didn't really explain that. So then Chris and Kate, Chris shoots Kate with a special bullet, and the moment he shot her, I was like, yes, he shot her. Because I said if anyone was to kill Kate, I want it to be Chris. If anyone was to kill her. And, she, at this point, is, he decides he's not going to kill her. He tells her, look, I'm not going to kill you. I don't have it in you. He just can't kill his sister. He's not going to kill his sister like this. And, that was definitely very well done. So then Peter and Scott, they're continuing to battle, and ultimately Scott comes out on top, but before punching him in the face with his asterisk blow, and he says, you were never an alpha, Peter. You were always a monster. So it's official. Peter's now a villain, and that was awesome right there, what Scott said. That was really awesome. And it really concludes the whole Peter trying to be an alpha storyline. It really concluded that very well, definitely. I like that this episode concluded some long-running plots we've been, going through for, since Season 3. So then the sun rises, and Chris tells them that there's enough yellow wolves, and basically the fight's over, because, Chris is taking down Kate and everything, and Chris tells them that there's enough yellow wolves spang in Peter's system to keep him at bay for the trip home. Peter, we know where he's going. We know that it's not going to work out for him. So Chris also says that he made a deal with the Calvaries that they would leave Scott and his friends alone so long as he helps them catch Kate. So Peter, not Peter, Chris is going to be searching for Kate. They're going to try to catch Kate because they have no idea where she went to. She went somewhere, so Kate's not dead. And I like that they didn't kill her because it actually provides anticipation for Season 5. Where is she? What's going to happen to her? And the thing is, will Chris actually get, have it in him to kill her? I understand why he didn't want to kill her. He's still dealing with Allison's death. He is still dealing with his daughter's death. He doesn't want to see another member of his family die. It makes sense why he doesn't want to kill her. It makes perfect sense. But basically, I think at some point, he's going to realize, okay, I got to kill her. He's going to realize that eventually. And I'm really looking forward to seeing when he does actually realize that. I think that's going to be a very good reveal, definitely. Did I say reveal? I didn't mean reveal. I meant, not a reveal, but more of a, triumph for him when he decides to catch Kate. So, Braedan then tells Derek that she's been chasing someone for a long time, and it goes by a code name, the Desert Wolf. And, that's huge, because the question is, who is the Desert Wolf? That was the first episode of this season. It was called The Desert Wolf. And I was kind of like, wait, The Desert Wolf? Who is the Desert Wolf? I was kind of wondering who that was. If it was Derek or... I think she was referring to Derek. It was definitely a cute scene. And my only question is, are we done with Braedan for the, forever? Are we really done with her? Because she got away, and it doesn't seem like her and Derek are gonna, stay together or anything. It seems like Braedan and Derek are going to be separated for a little bit. I don't know if they're going to get back together. We'll have to see. But I really did like them this season. I like that Braedan was a legit girlfriend for him because it's the first actually legit girlfriend he's had since he had to kill his girlfriend when he first turned into a werewolf. So yeah, that was definitely very cool. Definitely very good stuff there. So then we see that Kira is given a tail. A tail's been carved out of a piece of obsidian from Mexico, and it's her first tail. So now she is officially a kitsune. And Lydia is going to help Parrish find out what kind of supernatural creature he is. And I thought that was definitely a good scene. Liam is promoted to... Liam, there was a very funny scene with Scott and Liam and Styles. I thought that was a good scene. Really shows the kind of team they're going to be. And Lydia helping Parrish is going to be very interesting because we don't really know what Parrish is. And I thought that was a very well done scene because, again, we don't really know what Parrish is. And it's going to be cool to see what he actually is next season. And I like that they didn't really tell us. It's another great cliffhanger. But then we get to the very end of the episode. And this was creepy. I'm going to be honest. This was creepy. Peter is taken to the special floor of Eichen House. He's put in the same cell as that guy we saw in the beginning of last episode, the third-eyed man. And Peter's saying, "Who the hell are you?" And the man says, "I could tell you, but it'd be so much easier if I just showed you." And he stares into his eye, and Peter then just screams in terror, and that's how it ends. So my question is, why is Peter so scared of him? Why does Peter, I'm thinking, Peter is confident he's going to get out of here. He's like, "I'm going to get out of here. You're not going to do this to me. I'm going to get out of here." He thinks he's pretty much going to get out of here. My question is, why is Peter so afraid of him? Does this have something to do possibly with his past? We know that, Peter, maybe the third-eyed man was the one that burned his house down. Because, Peter's house set fire when he was younger. So maybe he was the one that set his house down. I don't know. I feel like next season we're going to get some more Peter backstory. We kind of did this season, but I feel next season he's going to become the official villain. And we're going to get more backstory from Peter. Also, Chris searching for Kate. Eventually, he's going to realize that he has to kill her. I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to happen with them next season. I'm definitely looking forward to that. And Lydia offering to help Parrish, I think is great. I really am looking forward to seeing what he actually is. And I think it's going to be a good arc. I'm definitely looking forward to next season. I think it's going to be a good 5th season, definitely, the way the season ended. Nothing too huge happened in this season, with this final episode. I mean, huge stuff happened, but I'm talking about, like, in the way of cliffhangers. In the way of cliffhangers, there weren't any, like, huge cliffhangers, but I was fine with that because this season has been crazy. It's been crazy. It's been an awesome season, in my opinion. I've been really into this season. All season long, I've been really into this season. I think the season has just been amazing, in my opinion. I've been really into it, and this episode in particular was just amazing. I loved it. This season was also amazing, definitely. Season 4 was probably the best season of the show so far, and I'm really looking forward to Season 5. I think Season 5 is going to be fantastic, and I'm really going to miss reviewing Teen Wolf for you guys for right now. I don't know when it's coming back, if it's coming back either in January or the summer. I think they said they're leaning more towards summer, because I don't know if they're going to be able to put out another season that fast. I don't know if they can. We'll have to see if they can. But overall, this was an amazing season. I love the season. Thought it was just fantastic. So much great writing in this season. So much amazing action and acting as well. The acting was fantastic, especially Jill Wagner and Tyler Hoechlin. Just so much great acting from everyone this episode. Fantastic acting. But that's my review. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you guys think in this episode. Are we going to see, and the finale, and the season in general, what does this third-eyed man have to do with Peter's past? I really feel he is related to Peter's past in some way. I don't know how, but I definitely think that he is definitely related to Peter's past. How he's related to him, again, I don't know how he's related to his past. I just think he is related to his past. Something with his past, definitely in the future episodes, we're going to see what happened there. But, yeah, so also, what's going to happen with Parrish? What do you guys think Parrish is? I know I'm really looking forward to seeing what Parrish actually is. There are a few things he could definitely be. Definitely a few things. I don't know specifically, but he definitely is a few things. I like that, again, Stiles helped Liam control his powers. So I thought that was very well done. There was a cute scene at the end of the episode where Stiles and Malia came back, and we could see that Sheriff Zielinski is warming up to Malia. He's kind of treating her like she was his own daughter, and I thought that was definitely a good scene in my opinion. Is this the last we've seen of Braedan? What do you guys think is going to happen there? Chris catching Kate, eventually, as I said, he's going to realize he needs to catch Kate eventually. He needs to realize that he needs to kill Kate eventually, and he needs to realize that. But overall, I love this finale. By far, best episode of the season. That's in my review. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys in my next review, which will be my review for something I'm really looking forward to reviewing to you guys, and that is the season premiere, the final season of Sons of Anarchy. Yeah, I will be watching that live for Finding Carter. Are you kidding me? It's on till like 11:50. I'm not watching something that long. Yeah, I'm not watching something that long on my DVR. But I'll see you guys in my next video. Okay, bye.